One's big with the
Erev
glass.
Torah B'Tai. We have Purim coming up tomorrow. We have Taanit Ester also. So let's finish off our discussion about these things. So what I want to tell you is that one thing that people ask, one thing that people ask is, are you allowed to work on Purim? Should you go to work? I see, by the way, here in this area, I see a lot of people, they do go to work on Purim. They do go, but the truth is that you're allowed to work on Purim, it's allowed. Yes, it's allowed. But only the place where the custom is, to do it like that. There are some places like in Eretz Israel, the religious areas over there, nobody works on Purim. Nobody goes to work on Purim. No such a thing like that. Am I right? Nobody works over there on Purim. It's a holiday, holiday is a holiday. So, it depends, right? If you have a place where the minhag is not to go to work, you shouldn't go to work. Here, there are a lot of people that they do go to work. So, it's okay. But the thing is, the Chazal, they say, it's not so good to work on Purim. It's a holiday after all. So therefore they say, lo ro'eh siman bracha. He doesn't see any bracha from that money that he makes on Purim. There's no bracha. Right? What can you do, right? So, it's like, if you have like a situation where you have no choice, the boss tells you to come in, you can go. What can you do, right? But, if you have a nice boss, right, who understands a little bit about the Judaism, so try to tell him, listen, today I'm going to, do my mitzvot, I got things to do, Megillah, Mishloach Manot, Matanot Le'Evyonim, I'm too busy now to come to work, I don't have time for that now. A person has to make priorities in his life. So this is one of the days that a person, is not so recommended to go to work, but if he has to, no choice. Okay, so you can go, what can I do? But you have to remember also, you got to do all the mitzvot. You have to do the Megillah. You have to get ready for Shabbat, So how much time do you have to work? How much are you going to work on Friday? Yom Shishi. It's not no pashut, right? So therefore, okay, you understand what I'm telling you. You get the point. So another thing I want to tell you is that regarding the Taanit Ester, a couple of things. One thing is, the Chazal, they say the Taanit Ester is the lightest of all the Taaniyot, the lightest one. What does that mean, the lightest? It's just a minhag, It's not really so much like a strong gezerah of the Chachamim. It's a minhag. So therefore, says the Ramah, if a person, doesn't feel good, even if he has like a headache or something, he doesn't have to fast. He's patur. He doesn't have to fast. So, if a person, is not feeling good, he's sick, he's got a flu or something, definitely he's patur from fasting on that day. So, make sure you understand yourself, right, what you're holding. If your doctor tells you that you don't need to you're not allowed to fast because of your health, you should listen to him. Listen to him and don't fast because, your doctor knows your health, right? He knows your condition. If he tells you, listen to him. Especially on, as we said, right, Taanit Ester, it's not a very strong minhag, it's not a very strong gezerah. It's the lightest one out of all the Taaniyot. I'm sorry? The thing is like this, they say though, the Chazal, that even though it's only a minhag, but, if you're healthy, right? You're a healthy guy, you can fast, and you don't do it, right? So they say, that Poretz Gader Ishachenu Nachash. You know what that means, right? That the snake will bite him if he breaks through the fence. Because, if you're healthy, right, and everything is good, why should you, try to get out of it? This is no good. Lotov. That's not what we're talking about. Minhag Yisrael, right, Torahi. They say the Chazal, right? The minhag of the Jews is Torah. So even though it's a minhag, it's still Torah. That's the thing, So a person has to take into consideration. Fine. Another thing interesting I want to tell you is that like this. Why do we do Taanit Ester? What's the reason for this? And why do we call it Taanit Ester? Why do we call it Taanit Ester? Why not Taanit Mordechai? Or Taanit, some other guy, right? So why Taanit Ester we call it? And why do we do it? What's the purpose of it? What's the reason? So the truth is, if you look in the Megillah, what does it say there? It says that when Esther found out about the decree of Haman, that Achashverosh agreed to it and everything, she was very distressed, when she found out about this. So what she did was, she told all the Jews, she told Mordechai, we're going to fast for 3 days. Taanit, 3 days.
And 3 nights.
Of course, yeah, 3 days in a row, right? You're right. No breaks. No, right. Belly upset, right, exactly. Like the Baba Sali used to do, like that, right? All the way, right? All the way through. 3 days they fasted. Because they wanted to avert the decree of Haman. So what happened was, the Chazal, they say though, when was this Taanit that Esther made? Was it on Purim, like this time?
Pesach.
Yeah, it was Passover. It was Pesach. She made it. Why? Because that's when she found out about the Gezerah of Haman.
Was that of Pesach, no?
But they did the Taanit on Pesach. You know what I mean? On Pesach. On Pesach they did the Taanit. They found out Erev Pesach.
Yes.
So the 3 days, can you imagine? On Pesach, they did Taanit for 3 days on Passover. You know? So then the question is like this, right? Why do we do the Taanit on the day before Purim? Why we should do it on Pesach, just like they did it.
No Seder.
No Seder. No Seder. Hey, you're right, guys. Why don't we do it that way then? So what's the answer to all these questions, And then also, why do we call Taanit Ester? Well, now we have the answer, right? Because she was the one who made this Gezerah, this Tekana, to do Taanit. It was her idea, So you shouldn't think, by the way, Esther was some kind of a little lady, some pretty girl. She was a Nevi'ah. She was a prophet. I mean, she was a big woman, They say in the Talmud she was one of the prophets of the women of Am Yisrael. Nevi'ah. She had Ruach HaKodesh, She was a holy woman. Isha Kedosha. So it wasn't some, so that's why she was able to make Gezerah, and to say, we're going to do Taanit for 3 days. Who can do this? Some woman can do today, some woman come out and say, yeah, we're going to fast for 3 days. Who's going to listen to her? But she was Nevi'ah. It's a decade, something very special. That's something else. So now the question is like this, right? Why do we do then on Yud Gimel Adar the Taanit? Why not on Pesach? We should do Pesach. Because the answer is that the Haman, it says in the Megillah that he made a goral. You know what's goral, right? What's goral?
Sacrifice?
No, it means a lottery. Right? He made a lottery. He was mechashif. He was a sorcerer. Amalek, Zera Amalek. Imach Shemo v'zichro. Right? Timchet Zecher Amalek. Right? That's what we say, right? So what happened was he made a goral, and what was he checking over there? He was checking by kishuf to see which day is the best day, to wipe out the Jewish people. You know what I mean? To exterminate them, Not the Hitler, you know what I mean? Hitler was the same thing, right? So he was checking. So came out to him that Yud Gimel Adar, right, was the time, to do it. You understand? And this is why we fast on Yud Gimel Adar. To avert the decree of Haman, because that's the day that he wanted to do this. This was the day, So there's a kitrug that comes back every year on Yud Gimel Adar, and this is why we do Taanit Ester on Yud Gimel Adar, to avert the kitrug, the accusations of Haman on us, And this is why we bring the money, Zecher L'Machatzit HaShekel. Why? Because this gives us a sechut, to get out of the decree of Haman. Every year it comes back again. This is the reason why we do it this way, So everything is important, everything has a reason. You shouldn't think, oh yeah, we just do it, it doesn't work like that. Everything has a purpose, everything has a reason. So make sure you do all the mitzvot. Okay, fine. So now, question is like this, right? When does the Taanit start in the morning, Rabotai? When does it start? Boris told me he wants to have breakfast, right? Okay, fine. 5 o'clock, get up and have breakfast. No problem, right? We can do that. But the thing is that 6 o'clock already the Taanit begins. That's it,
Tomorrow.
So after that, right,
Tomorrow.
6 a.m.
Tomorrow.
Right, yes. 6 a.m. So after that, you have to stop eating, right, whatever it is, and you got to go, right, and do your tefillot and whatever, right, go to shul, right, go do your big business. So when does it end? Since Shkia is 7 o'clock, 7:20, the Taanit is over. Right? Not like it says in the Ashkenazi Luchot, 7:30, 7:40. No. 7:20, Taanit is over. That's it. Gamarno. Right? So that's the meshech of the Taanit, right? The duration of the Taanit. It's really, what is it? We're talking about 13 hours and 20 minutes.
Why not 26 hours, 25 hours?
So this Taanit, as we said, right, it's kal, it's a light one, So we don't do the whole day. They didn't decree that much, Only Yom Kippur and Tisha B'Av we do like that. All the other Taaniyot, it's only from the morning, from Mahmud HaShachar. That's the way it is. Okay, fine, so we understand that, we got that. Now, let's talk a little bit about this. What is a person supposed to do on Yom Taanit? What's the tikkun there? What's the mitzvah? Except for the fact that you're not eating, what else are you supposed to do on Taanit? You're right, it's good. Chacham, where'd you come from? You can't save us over here. Okay, Hashem, what's your name?
Artur.
Nice to meet you. You live around here?
I come here every year, you don't see me?
Oh, okay, every year. Okay, well, Hashem. I'm still new over here, I'm still new. You're probably older than I am. But anyway. Anyway, right, as we said, what are you supposed to do in Yom Taanit? So says the Gemara, you were supposed to do like 3 things, important things on Yom Taanit, to do tikkun. One is, it says in Masechet Brachot, that you should give tzedakah, That's why we bring zecher machatzit shekel. So you're going to bring tzedakah to the shul, right, to the yeshiva, whatever you want to bring it to. Kolel. Tzedakah is very important. The tikkun of Yom Taanit is also tzedakah, because it gives us kapara, for our sins. So it's a good thing, Besides the Taanit, also tzedakah. Another thing they say you're supposed to do is you're supposed to do tefillot, tachanunim. And that's why, if you ever notice, right, on Yom Taanit, we have a long slichot that we say right after the Amidah. Long one, right? Long. It takes like 15 minutes to finish it. It's a long one. Why do we say all that stuff, all the slichot over there? Because it's Yom Taanit, we're supposed to be praying a lot, a lot of tachanunim. That Hashem should forgive us for our sins, for accusation. Another thing it says, that you're supposed to do cheshbon nefesh, on Yom Taanit. You know what this means, cheshbon nefesh? It means that you're supposed to check, the community, if there are some sins going on, some things which are not kosher, and correct the problems.
You have to tell the people that they're making the sin.
Exactly, you gotta tell them, listen, we heard that you're doing this and this and that, so you gotta stop it, We're gonna talk to everybody, and tell them, and also a person on himself, first of all on yourself, You gotta do teshuvah on your own sins. On Yom Taanit, you gotta make a cheshbon, and say, what's wrong with me? Where am I going wrong? Where am I failing? Where am I falling? I gotta do teshuvah also for myself. This is the thing.
Do we need to be makpidim tomorrow on the reading of the Torah that people are going to fast? The Olim going to fast?
Yeah, that's the minhag. The minhag is that, right, the Olim are fasting, right? That's the minhag.
That's in a fast, but because I thought maybe because they moved the date and it's not like...
right, but it's true, it's not really moved. This year it's the right time. You give it a dollar, it's not really moved.
No, it was supposed to be... Yeah.
Okay, so it's all good, Baruch Hashem. So that's the thing, we're supposed to do cheshbon nefesh, to look at the sins of the community, to see what's going on, Some things are not right. So whatever is not right, we have to correct it. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, this is a problem with our generation. That nobody rebukes nobody, Nobody tells anybody nothing. You know what I mean? They're all scared, to tell their friend, if I tell him, he's going to hate me, he's going to scream at me, he's going to curse me. What are you afraid of? This is hochiach tochiach. It says in the Torah, right? You have to tell people in their face. You got to tell them, listen, this is what you're doing is not correct. I'm sorry. Try to correct this. We're responsible for each other. So what does it say? Kol Israel arevim zel hazeh. Right? We're all responsible for each other. So we have to rebuke each other. If we see something, and don't tell me, oh no, you're from this community. I don't want to talk with you. You're from here. You're Samarkandi. You're Tashkenti. Who cares? Who cares? What does it matter?
You tell them you don't understand. Then what?
There's rules about that. There's rules about that, how to do that. But the thing is, that you have to rebuke. Hochiach tochiach. It says in the pasuk. It's a mitzvah taseh in the Torah, to rebuke your fellow Jew who's doing something wrong. But also, I'll tell you one thing. We'll finish here. I don't want to go too long, but yes, you have to rebuke your fellow Jew. It's true. But you have to do it with respect. And don't yell at him. Don't scream at him. Don't embarrass him in public. And make a big balagan. And start fighting. This cursing, blah blah blah. You don't have to go that far. Just rebuke him. Tell him nicely. If he's doing something wrong, and correct him, tell him, listen, I love you, you're my brother, we're all but one big family. That's the way it is, So we have to correct each other, we have to take care of each other, we're responsible for each other. That's the way it is. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen. Rabbi Hanania Mekashomer, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לעזוב את ישראל, לפיכך הרבה להם תורה ומצוות שלהם לא חפץ, למען צדקו יגדיר תורה וידיר.